Today on Singles Court, Clarice inked a major deal and Stanford wants in on the action.
She's now on the verge of tremendous success.
Yeah, and that's not even all he wants either.
This whining couplet needs to right the wrong.
No,
Well,
he's
thank you.
not.
All I'm asking from her is to write a little blurb, a little promotional thing.
She doesn't want to.
And Marcia won the lottery and can't bear to share.
My chunk of change will always be my chunk of change.
She's got a nest egg for one and is telling Aiden, what's mine is mine, you'll be fine.
But he'll always be set for the rest of his life. What about me? What happens if, he decides to move on with somebody else?
Well, hello there, and welcome to Singles Court, coming to you live and direct on the Singles Broadcast Network. And now, please say hello to the lady who's always direct, relationship mediator, Angela Segal.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you today?
Fine. We have entries coming in for our singles pageant.
Oh, yes, the beauty pageant that I'm not allowed to enter.
You're an employee.
Well, yes, but I also happen to be beautiful.
You're not eligible.
I'm just joking anyhow. Well, I hope you have your literary frame of mind on today, because today is a bit of a novel case. Oh. In the studio, we have Stanford Edgewater, who is a poet, and Clarice Mason Danvers, who is a romance novelist. Now, the two of them, a couple of years ago, started co-authoring a bit of a relationship themselves. They lived together for 2 years. However, since then, have broken up. But the problem comes up when Clarice's soon-to-be-released novel is creating quite a buzz. It hasn't even hit the shelves of your local bookstore yet, and even Hollywood is clamoring for it. Wow. Well, the thing is, Stanford feels that he's due a bit of credit. So I call this the case of the novel idea, or I scratch your paperback, you scratch mine.
Well, Clarice, congratulations.
Thank you.
What seems to be the issue? It sounds as though Stanford's pretty upset with you.
Well, if I may be so bold and begin here.
Of course you may.
Well, thank you very much. I happen to be a writer, and I'm under no illusion whatsoever as to the public appeal of my work. I am greatly influenced by classical literature, which by definition, alas, can generate only limited readership. However, I'm fine with this, perfectly content with my place in the world of literature. Clarice, on the other hand, has demonstrated an aptitude for writing in the popular vein, and I would like to put on the record here that I'm extremely happy, very happy indeed, and proud of her impending success.
Okay.
That's quite the act there. Can I just please tell you that, yes, act.
Yeah, tell me in English what he just said.
You know what? I don't know. He's just so full of himself sometimes that he just goes off. First of all, I just think that he's very resentful and jealous of my success.
Resentful?
And that's why he came here
jealous
today.
in the least.
Oh, really?
Oh,
He's always said things to me like, anyone can publish a first novel. It's longevity that measures success in this business.
Well,
isn't that...
Good grief. It makes me sound so absolutely onerous.
Well, isn't that what you said?
I mean, basically, in layman's terms, what you're saying is, it doesn't matter what you do, it only matters what I do. Because what I do is real work and what you do doesn't count.
Exactly.
Not at all.
Well,
not at all.
Well, then what is it?
We were together for two and a half years. Her attitude, I'm sure, is simply a holder from the fact that we have a failed relationship on a personal level. We were together for two and a half years. May I continue, please?
2.5 years.
Go ahead.
2.5 years. I recognize in her a raw talent.
Okay, but what happened with the relationship?
The relationship is over.
I mean, but what happened?
She walked out on me simply.
Oh, so she left you.
I invested a great deal of time, month after month, teaching her how to write. Good grief, when we met, she could hardly spell her own name.
Well, I think she must have taught you some things too, or you wouldn't have stayed for 2 years.
Thank you.
So, Clarice, what happened? How come you guys broke up?
Well, yes, I'll admit that he did tutor me, but I think that the fact that he was so patronizing just finally got to me one day.
So you all were having a relationship on top of it?
Yes.
So I'm trying to find out, why did you leave?
Well, I left because I realized I needed more and I wanted more, because he always put me down, and I
Give me an example, like what did he do to put you down?
Well, like that one comment that I said.
One comment.
Look, well, no, that for instance. And then he would bring his friends.
Yeah, you seem like a big teaser and a big joker. I can see it.
Good.
You know what? He would bring his friends over when I would, after coming home from work, I'd find him looking through my stuff and laughing at me with his friends. He'd read my
Gladys, you are attempting to be a popular novelist.
he would read my
can't take
writing,
public
and then he would
criticism.
make
This is all
fun
part
of me
the
after with his
exercise, to get
friends, like
people
I
in
was
there
some
to
clown.
register their
Okay,
comments
Stanford,
on her work.
question
It's
for
part
you.
of-
Obviously, she has impending success. You know she's going to be successful. Explain to me why you think you deserve any part of that. Especially because you tutor.
Because I spent 2.5 years teaching her how to write. Look,
Okay, and why did you do that?
I'll cut
What
to
was your
chase.
motivation?
All
Please do.
I'm asking for, here is that she write a brief introduction, a little promotional blurb to my new book of romantic poetry. It's entitled Blood Tears of the Minotaur.
But
It's written in
she doesn't
tradition of
want
the
to.
ancients.
You know what?
So back, so she
I
doesn't-
have no
It
problem
could
with even
possibly
writing that
increase my
introduction.
sales. Surely that's not too much to ask after all this time
Angela,
we spent together.
I have no problem even writing that introduction. When I went to discuss it with him,
Well,
he
then what's
wanted
the
to
problem?
dictate it word for word, and that's not all he wants
But
anyway.
wait a minute, I see a bigger issue here. See, like this is relationship, it's about relationships. It's singles court. It's not a legal situation, because if that were the case, I'd tell you to go sue her. Let's talk about the relationship, okay?
fine.
What was your motivation for tutoring her? I mean, were you just tutoring her and she was on a paid
Because
basis?
he's better than me,
recognize
that's
someone
why.
Yeah, that's one person answers that question.
I
You.
recognized a talent in her, an ability to express herself. What she didn't have was a knowledge of structure and vocabulary, plot,
Okay.
character, all that
So
stuff.
your motivation was to make her better.
Of course, I'm a teacher.
So at what point did you think you deserved something back for that? Because she didn't ask you for it.
At what point?
Yes, at what point?
I don't know that I ever
P-O-I-N-T.
expected anything. No. Listen, she's now on the verge of tremendous success. And
Yeah,
what,
and that's
what
not
is wrong
even
with
all he
expecting
wants
something back
either.
from
Why
her?
are you not
Some
answering my
acknowledgement that I have brought her along. I'm
Why?
responsible.
Why? She doesn't owe you that.
Because she would
you.
never have got there on her own. It's quite clear.
I would have certainly got there on my own, okay? And
Oh,
I have a
please.
pending 5-book deal coming up right now, and he wants me to link his publication with mine, so much so that he doesn't want me to sign the contract unless they agree to publish his book as well.
But you realize that you are a grown person with
right.
free will.
Thank
You can say what you do and do not want to do, correct? And you do not want to do this.
That's right.
Why can you not accept that, Stanford? She doesn't want to do it.
Why can't I accept that? Well, because I took her out of a little job as a waitress in a dirty, grimy little cafe and made her a star. I'm responsible for her
And
success.
I
Is it too
supported
much to ask
him
for
with my
something
grimy
back
little
from
cafe
that?
job.
Well, did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
While she was a grimy little, what did you call it? Grubby little
A waitress in a grimy little cafe.
Oh, waitress in a grimy little cafe. It sounds like you were eating the food.
He totally was, and he wasn't working. I supported us almost 100%.
Is that true?
With all due respect.
No, is that true?
Yes, it's true, but there is a there.
It seems like if you dig a ditch for a living
If
and you
I'm
bring
to
home the
teach
bacon and
her,
they eat it,
I
they shouldn't
needed to be
complain.
freed to be able to commit myself to the time necessary to work on the craft so that I in turn could teach her, so I could
Yeah, and
educate
teach
her.
me how exactly.
It sounds to me like she did her part and you in turn tutored her. That's what it sounds like to me. Now you tell me
Well-
that I'm wrong. Convince me that I'm wrong.
Because when she was, I wasn't teaching her how to be a waitress, I was teaching her how to be
No,
a
you were
writer
eating the
so
food
that
she
she could
made
leave
with the
her
money
job
she
as a
made.
waitress, and now she's on the verge of tremendous public acclaim, and surely I
Good for
deserve.
her. What's that got to
Well,
do
that's
with
exactly what I'm saying. Good for her.
No,
well,
he's
thank you.
not.
All I'm asking from her is,
What does
is to
that
write
have
a
to-
little blurb, a little promotional thing.
But she doesn't want to.
I'm
So
not
she
asking her
does
for a
not-
royalty on her
She
publication. I've got
doesn't
one
want
tiny
to.
little book of poetry. She's
Hello?
got a 5-book deal.
Do you have a dictionary I
Good
can throw at him?
gravy.
Because obviously you don't understand what she does. She does not want to. She doesn't want to.
And
So-
I feel like I've supported his
understand.
career enough for him to work and supposedly tutor me.
My
Yes, he
career-
has taught me, but not only did you eat my food, like Angela
My
said,
career was
but
already
when you
established
did
when she came into my life.
Guess
You did
what?
not cre-
Guess what? Guess what? It's resolution time. I'm throwing the book. You know, this is about one person trying to ride the coattails of another. You know, Stanford, you tutored Clarice because you wanted to. There was an advantage for you, or you wouldn't have done it. The advantage that you saw was that you basically had someone that was taking care of your needs at the time. So you pretty much got what you put into it. You got everything you put into it. You know, I just really have a hard time understanding how you feel justified in asking her for anything when she worked very hard to help you get yourself going, and then you, on the other hand, are looking at her and trying to take instead of being happy for what's going on in her life. Clarice, you go, girl. Good for you. Keep it going and congratulations. But just remember, the next relationship you're in, you may want to examine the person's motives for helping you. You know, some people wait for their ship to come in, and others will swim out to the ship. Clarice was one to swim out to the ship for the opportunity. That's what she wanted. She wanted to go and get it. You, on the other hand, decided to sit on the dock and wait and jump on the ship. Problem with that is that when you jump on the ship, you fail to realize where it's going, and you have no control over that. And when you look around one day and you say, gee, I haven't gone anywhere, the only thing you have left to do is blame others. But it's your responsibility to get on your own ship so that you can chart your own course. And I tell you that if you don't just learn how to do that now, especially at your age, you're going to find out that where you end up is on choppy waters going nowhere. And that's that in black and white.
Next on Singles Court, Marcia won the lottery and can't bear to share.
My chunk of change will always be my chunk of change.
She's got a nest egg for one and is telling Aiden, what's mine is mine, you'll be fine.
He'll always be set for the rest of his life. What about me? What happens if, he decides to move on?
And Singles Court is back with the diva d'amour, Angela Segal.
You just love to put those words on me, and I just
It's all
can't.
the wordplay and the alliteration. It's from all those steamy novels I've been reading.
It's, like I said, it's better than what you read before, so I'll
Okay,
take it.
enough about my literary habits. Let's get down to business. In the studio now, we have Aiden and Marcia. Marcia is a checkout clerk, and Aiden is the production manager at his family's cement plant. And the two of them have been laying the foundation of a good relationship for about the last year and a half now. They've been living together for the last 6 months, and they plan to get married soon. However, Marcia recently won the lottery, which normally would be a great thing, where she's getting married and she wins the lottery. Woohoo! However, she has asked Aiden to sign a prenuptial agreement, and Aiden has a bit of a problem with this. So I call this the case of whiner takes all.
Well, Aiden, a prenuptial is normally not an unusual thing. What seems to be the problem?
Well, the problem is, Angela, is that, first off, I don't have a problem in saying that I'm a very wealthy person. My parents are wealthy, and I'm next in line to benefit from that wealth. Some people would like you to be ashamed of that, but I can't be. I'm sorry. Now...
So you're like a prince?
Well, not necessarily. I would like to think I am sometimes, but I'm not really, no.
Prince of Cementia.
I work in a cement factory. I'm a production manager, and I work for my parents.
Okay.
And as I said, I'm next in line to take over their company. And I've never asked Marcia for a prenuptial agreement. I've sat down with my parents and we've discussed this, and I said, no, I'm not into prenuptial agreements.
They wanted you to sign a prenup?
Well, yes, they did ask me and inform me, as a matter of fact, that it would be in my best interest to sign a prenuptial agreement.
And you
I
said no.
Yes, I did.
You don't
say
agree
no.
with them. So this is not new to you, Marcia. You knew that he didn't agree with prenuptials, right?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so if you knew that, then why are you now all of a sudden saying, gee, I want you to sign a prenuptial?
Because
Is it because of the money that you won?
Exactly. That's it exactly. Aiden has always had money. His family has money. He comes from money. He's never had to worry about money. I won $100,000, and to me, that's a lot of money for me.
What is $100,000? What is $100,000?
It's a lot of money.
It's
more than 90,000.
Well, it's more than $9,000.
Yeah, it's more than what I had before.
Okay.
It's more than what I make as a checkout clerk.
And are you willing to jeopardize our relationship for $100,000?
Well, it's not about jeopardy. I'm just trying to.
Tell me why, because you have to kind of set this up. He has his own money. He's wealthy within his own right, which he made sure we knew. You knew when you met him. So actually, that's a pretty good catch for somebody who you say has never had money before, which is you. So, and you all obviously have a relationship that's bigger than money. So help me understand where the prenuptial comes in and why you're so insistent upon him signing one.
I just want to protect myself. God
yourself
forbid,
against what, Marcia?
God forbid that in, maybe a year down the road, something happens and we break up, split up, get a divorce. I just want to know that my chunk of change will always be my chunk of change.
But
he'll always be set for the rest of his life. What about me? What happens if, he decides to move on with somebody else
Have you
me to
ever
the
heard, well, you know what, let's think about this. You're getting married, okay? Which means that your assets will become joint assets when you become married, except for, unless you make provisions, what you put in the prenuptial before you come into the marriage. So you're trying to keep your 30 cents and he's
Exactly.
got $3 million. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me.
But you see, you're comparing it as like 30 cents. To me, that's a lot of money.
I
I've
understand
never
that.
had anything, okay? I don't have a mother and father that I can call and say, hey, Mom, Dad, I need some money
You
to
see,
pay
this
my
is-
bills.
this is what I can't handle.
I work for everything
But
that I
okay,
have.
but think about the relationship, because this is obviously not a legal court. We're not even going to talk about your prenup, really, in terms of the legal issues behind it. Let's talk about the relationship. The fact that he doesn't believe in them, and you pop up with an idea that he should sign one.
Yeah, well, that's just the way that I believe. That's just my protecting myself. That's it.
What about
I
your
just wanna
trust in the relationship?
Exactly.
Let's talk about that.
I trust him.
With what?
Of course you should trust me. I've given you everything you've ever asked me for.
I'm just scared, I just
Scared we
I
can deal with.
understand what it's like.
Scared we can deal with. Do you understand what she's saying, Aiden? She's scared about the future.
Angela,
So
I'm
what can
scared
you-
as well.
Well, okay, so what can you do to make her feel better about the future? Because that's where it's coming from. It's not even about the
I've
prenup.
tried a lot. I've tried hard to reassure her that everything is going to be fine. I mean, how much could you reassure someone? Marriage is marriage. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. What else can I really
Oh, that would reassure me.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the reality.
Yeah, true.
You
But
know-
sometimes reality is not what people need when they're
See-
afraid. Let's talk about your fear. Okay, let's talk about the fact where you come from. Why are you so afraid?
Aiden doesn't understand that coming from money, he has never had to struggle. I always have had to struggle.
Okay.
For everything.
This
So what does that mean, though?
I worked as a garbage man in my father's factory from I was 15 years old.
At least
Not
you
the
had
same
a father.
thing. There you go. I mean, listen to what she's saying, Aiden. You have to open up and at least listen to what she's saying. Okay.
Thank you.
But everybody starts at a block. It's not always the same block. So tell us about your block.
Angela, I've never had nothing. This money to me is like security. I could travel. I could, buy myself some new clothes.
Tell us where you come from.
It's my money. It's
Tell us where you come from that becomes so important to you, because you're going to give up a great relationship and marriage over a little bit of money.
You see, this is
So
what I can't
that's the part
understand.
that I don't
It's not that I
understand.
don't
This
love this
nothingness.
man.
What is all this
That's not what I-
nothingness you're talking about?
That's not what I asked you. Try to help me understand where you come from that makes that so important.
I've been bounced around from foster home to foster home with these men, father figures that were supposed to be taking care of me and providing for me. And this is not easy for me to talk about, okay?
Have you not discussed this with her, Aiden, in her past?
You've never mentioned this to me before. Why haven't you ever told me about this?
Because you would never understand, Hayden.
Have you
Like,
given
what
him
do
a chance?
That's what I'm saying. What do you think I am? Like,
I mean,
come on.
you're getting ready to get married, and you want a prenuptial for this little bit of money that you won, and you're trying to help. You want him to understand the value, and I'm still trying to understand it myself. Granted, you're telling me that you're bounced around from foster home to foster home, but tell me the security that $100,000 gives you over the security of the man you say you love.
And what that does to her trust as well. Where's the trust?
I mean, I really want to trust you. I really do, but I'm sorry. I come from a life of not being able to trust anyone, Hayden, men especially, okay? I would be taken into these homes and, it'd be, welcome, Marcia, everything's gonna be great. Next thing
I'm gonna go to my resolution. I've heard enough. You're not allowing yourself to talk to him, and that's where you have the problem, not the prenup. I'll be back with my resolution. Nothing can protect you from emotional pain. Nothing. And Aiden, you have your own ideas already in your mind about prenups, and I respect that. But you also need to be a little more open and realize that when there are great discrepancies between one partner or another, then sometimes it is good to seek the advice of legal counsel to see if that is the best choice for you. But ultimately, the choice is yours. What you need to do is you need to look at Marcia and look beyond what she's saying to you in words, because there's a lot of pain there. And you need to at least try to understand her pain. Then when you do make the decision of what you're going to do, you'll be making the decision with her best interest at heart, her emotional pain. Marcia, I understand where you're coming from in terms of coming from a place where you're afraid. And that money seems like security to you, but money is never security, ever. It's a thing. Security comes from surrounding ourselves with people that love us and relationships that make us feel secure. I understand how you feel about your past, and it's okay to say this hurt me, but you have to understand that you have to stop using it as an excuse to not take risk. You know, when you look at the relationship in general, you all have a good chance of making this relationship work. But the thing that's going to have to happen is you're going to have to listen to each other and understand where each of you is coming from. Marcia, you need to let him love you. And what you'll find out is that jackpot is better than any lottery ticket you could have ever won. I guarantee you that. And that's that in black and white.
Well, that's today's show, and here are the cliff notes. When it comes to relationships, some people aren't even a footnote in the book of love. And a concrete relationship is going to last a lot longer than a stack of paper when things get rough. Join us next time here at Singles Court, the final word for singles.